Welcome to Confessions of a Stenographer, where we are focusing on all things steno and the legal profession. Thanks for tuning in. I am your host, Shanice Day, founder of Steno in a City and the Steno Experience. I pray that you all are doing well out there. We are in the final quarter of 2021. Let's be sure to close out on a good note. Anyone else still on a convention high? I can tell you that I am. It was so good to be in the presence of our fellow colleagues at the NCRA 2021 annual convention in Las Vegas. If you didn't know, we went live with this podcast in the Expo Hall. We had a great time. We are going to get into our next episode with our new Madam President. The stellar stenographer has been serving our profession in a major way. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Debbie Dibble. Hey, Debbie. Welcome to the Steno Podcast. Are you ready to confess?
Well, I think the better question, Shanice, is, are you ready to hear my sins?
Absolutely. Let's get into it. So tell us, who is Debbie Dibble?
Who is Debbie Dibble? Well, can I first start by saying I am so honored and thrilled. Debbie Dibble is honored and thrilled to have been invited to participate in this innovative method to discuss court reporting and captioning issues with all that are interested in learning more about our fabulous steno world. So thank you so much for this invitation, Shanice. I'm really, really honored to be spending this time with you. So I am a freelance stenographer and a captioner. I've been serving in this field for 32 years. Don't anybody do that math. I'm a wife, a mom. I am a grandma to two precious little ones. I have done everything that I can possibly think of to do with my skill. I do complex litigation in every depot scenario, trials, arbitrations. I've traveled throughout the world and across the country. I've used my skill with celebrities, writing their histories, and those have become books, music, movies. When I first passed the RPR, I was the first student to graduate in my state for quite a lot of years. And so I became the go-to girl. Anything that nobody else wanted to do, they asked me. And as you may have seen from some of my NCRA gala photos, I'm pretty game for everything. And I always said yes. It was like that. This is really going to age me. Do you remember the Life cereal commercials with Mikey? And they'd say, let's ask Mikey, he'll eat anything. So they'd say, let's get Debbie to do it. She'll do anything. And I did. And I will tell you, looking back, I am so grateful. There's no better education than to just jump in and learn things before you're smart enough to be afraid of it. I was naive and maybe even stupid, but now I'm not afraid of anything. Sure, I'll go do a maximum security lineup at the federal penitentiary. Yeah, I'll do cart for 25,000 people in our Salt Palace arena. Just throw me in the deep end. So it was a great education to just do everything and learn.
That is amazing. 32 years of steno excellence experience. This is amazing. Now, can you tell us which city and state are you in?
Oh, great idea. So I live in Utah. I live in a little tiny town up in the mountains above Park City. And I have spent most of my career serving Utah and Wyoming. I'm right on the border of Wyoming, and there are very few reporters on this end of Wyoming. So I've spent a lot of time helping them. I also spent about 10 years of my career right in the middle in Tennessee. I lived in Memphis, Tennessee for a while. And like I said, I've been all over the country and all over the world, but that's my home base of where I've really focused.
Okay. How did you get into stenography? Was it a dream job within a legal profession before discovering steno? What was that? Or was it right out of high school? Can you tell us about that?
Honest truth be told, I have no idea how I ever learned about court reporting. No idea where those words first entered my mind. So I will tell you that I did not find this profession. It found me. I did have a chosen profession. I wanted to be a cop. I was working for the police department my senior year in high school and going to be a police officer. Like I said, I have no recollection of the words court reporter ever being in my mind, but I vividly remember the chief of police asking me one day what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And I said, I wanted to be a court reporter. And then I graduated from high school and went off to college and majored in business management and just did nothing about court reporting. I don't even know where that came from. But I always told people that's what I wanted to be. So my mom called me at college one day and said, there's a building down the road that has a sign out that says the Intermountain College of Court Reporting. Have you ever heard of that? And I said, no, but that's what I want to be. And so I checked out of university and came home and registered, and the rest is history. I got through school in a little over a year and I never looked back. It's what I always wanted to be, and it came to find me. So
that is so amazing. And, I'll just go back just a little. You mentioned that, you wanted to be a cop. Well, my first dream job was, of course, an attorney. That didn't work out. So as I was looking for full-time work, I wanted to go into dispatch, into law enforcement. I figured, that would be something to do. So I did my interview with the panel, and it was just so amazing. I knew I was hired. The vibe was great. And so I passed all of the steps. And the last step was the poly test. I did not pass my poly test. And I was so annoyed. Yes, because I went in and I told my whole life story. I told the truth about every little thing, right? And since we're confessing, I'll confess. When I was in eighth grade, this is like right after my mom passed away, I start hanging around with kids that I had no business being with. And I was in a Walgreens, and I cannot believe that I'm about to confess something that I said I would take to my grave. So I went into the Walgreens and I took a lip gloss that was $2.15, right? And, later on in life, I did go back and pay that $2.15 because it wasn't the right thing to do. But, in my interview, like I told every little thing, and I just could not pass the poly. And I'm like, okay, I told everything about my life. Why not me? But I figured it wasn't for me. That was not the path that was, designed for me. So
well, I gotta comment on that though, because you should have passed the polygraph because you were completely honest. But you know what? Right. Dispatch's loss is our gain, because I'm so glad you are a court reporter. And since, if you don't mind, the reason I realized I didn't want to be a police officer as well is I was directing traffic, and I was directing traffic at a basketball game. And so we had just tons of foot traffic. So I was stopping the foot traffic and directing the vehicular traffic to go by. And these two people go walking by me out into the street, and I blew my whistle and I yelled at them and said, "Get back on the sidewalk." And they were startled and they got back on the sidewalk, and then they looked at each other, and I heard the one guy say, "I didn't even see her. Did you?" Because I'm just a little person. And I thought, this really probably isn't for me. But anyways, and I'm so glad you're confessing, because I was going to say, this is really not fair. Someday we're going to do your confessions, and I'm going to volunteer to interview.
Right. And you know what? I am all for it. I am so all for it. So that is a deal.
Well, from what you just said, I think I can get some real dirt out of you.
Yes, you can, because I am always going to just tell it like it is and tell my truth. So I am all for it. Now, moving on to Certs Matter. Can you share with us what certs that you currently hold, and why does certification matter? I want to say in May, I don't know if you've seen it, but I started a campaign with a few of my shirts that I'm now promoting, and one is Certs Matter, right? So can you share with our listeners what certs do you currently hold, and why is certification important?
Well, the answer to that question is Certs Matter. That is the short answer. But if we did all short answers, we probably wouldn't have a very good podcast. So here's the long answer. I have them all because it was fun. So when I got out of school, I had these glorious dreams of getting my RMR, and I was going to earn it right out of the chute. But life got busy, and I kept saying, when I do this and can practice, then I'll take it. When this happens and I can practice, I'll take it. And life just got busy, and it never happened. So 20 years later, I still hadn't gotten it done. I was serving on the Utah Court Reporters Association board at the time, and I ended up being the proctor of the NCRA test. And I didn't do a very good job. And I thought, the best way to give a test is to take the test. So I thought, now's the time. I'm going to just take that RMR like I've always wanted to. And if I blow it, then I can just give up that dream. And if I'm close, then that's going to give me the incentive to actually practice and get it done. So I took the test and I passed all 3 legs on that first try. So I'm going to tell anyone out there, if you are waiting and you still have that dream to improve your certification level, just go do it. Don't wait for that perfect day of that perfect storm when you've practiced and done everything, because we practice every day. We practice a lot, and you really just go out, because you may not know how good you are until you take that test. And that's why I love tests, because I think that is the reflection to me of how I'm doing and where I am on that scale, which also equates into, it shares with the world your skill level. I know that there are a lot of people that have skill or test anxieties, and it causes a problem. And so maybe it's not a true reflection of how great you really are. It sometimes has to do with those test anxieties. But if you're an employer or you're somebody looking for an individual to fill your needs, that is the best way for them to know your skill level. So having those certifications truly shares with the world your qualifications. And that may be often the only thing that they have to decide who is the qualified individual to cover their great work. Like I said, I think testing is a reflection of my improvement. And so I enjoy tests. I like the energy and the excitement and going, and it does get scary and I get nervous. It's like, but then when you get on the other side, hey, I did a great job. And now I have this certification to show the world, and sometimes to show me that I really am a very qualified stenographer. A way I can share with you how my certifications have benefited me in my life. We had our state decide to let go of our official reporters a long time ago. And I was concerned that official situation was going to leak over into our freelance world. And I was worried about what I could do with my skill if we were no longer in the demand that we had been for many, many years. So I decided to work on my dictionary, work on my writing, and become a captioner. And I took the CBC and the CCP, which are now the CRC, and I passed those tests. And within weeks, there was a job opportunity to caption for my international broadcast for my church. And I had coveted that job for years. And they were looking for those certifications. And I have had that job for 8 or 9 years now. So if I hadn't been prepared at that time when that window opened, I might not have this job, because somebody else would have gotten this coveted situation and they would be in this place and I wouldn't have had that opening. So certifications show the world that you are willing to make the effort and you are dedicated to being excellent. They are the benchmark by which others can assess your quality. So I guarantee you that having those pieces of paper will get you more work and better work. It has proven true for me over and over and over for many, many years. And people will say, passing the RPR make you a better writer? The answer is yes, It does. The day I got that letter that said I had passed, I wrote like a champ for weeks and weeks. Sometimes when other people tell you how great you are, it really makes you see it. And you are better maybe than you were without it. So thank you, Shanice.
Awesome. So you said just do it. So to our steno lovers out there that are tuning in, you have until August 20th to go ahead and set that date to test for September. So go ahead and just do it. And with that being said, we're going to go into a short commercial break, and we will be right back with more of Debbie Dibble.
Hi, my name's Christopher Day. I've been a court reporter for 11 years. I've seen how easy it is for our profession to get buried by lots of misconceptions in the media. That's one of the reasons I started Stenographer.com, a blog all about court reporting and related issues. For example, maybe you saw in the news that court reporters were only 80% accurate when tested on a specific English dialect. Readers of my blog know that 80% is actually twice as good as the average person and up to 4 times as good as automatic speech recognition. With no dialect training, we're the best. With dialect training, we're unstoppable. The news wouldn't report that, so I did. If you want honest reporting of industry events, topics, and opinions, check out Stenonymous.com or search Christopher Day blog on the web. You can subscribe, share stories, or even approach me about becoming a guest writer. Now, let's get you back to Confessions of a Stenographer.
And we are back with more of Debbie Dibble. So Debbie, tell us, life as a freelancer. Was this your first career choice or did you go into court? Can you share your steno journey and the benefits of being a freelancer?
Boy, that will take 6 or 8 hours for us to go through the benefits of being a freelancer. But as I told you earlier, I was the first fresh blood in my state for over 5 years. And when I graduated, I was bombarded by freelance firms that wanted me to work with them. And I really just didn't look anywhere else. But I must say that officialship has always been what I see as the gold star achievement. I thought that if I got to be a good enough court reporter that someday I could have a judge of my very own. But just because I chose freelance doesn't mean that I haven't had the full experience in all areas of our profession. Like I said, I got sent on everything. I substituted for an official in her courtroom for 6 solid months right out of school. I have done countless multiple month daily copy, real-time rough trials by myself, writing all day, rough out in an hour, proofreading in my hotel room. There was one job I actually took a little binder. It only fit 15 pages, so I could only punch 15 pages at a time. So after I finished the job, I printed out all of the copies, I punched the holes in it, I bound it on my Motel 6 bed, and then I took the transcripts back to the trial the next morning and passed them out to counsel. So let's just say lots and lots of Mountain Dew. I already told you I caption. I do anything I'm asked to do if it sounds fun, which everything always sounds fun. And that is the number one reason that I love freelance, because it gives me the freedom to be free and do all the things that I love, including having the flexibility to be a mom, to take care of my children when they're little. I made PB&J sandwiches while scoping and proofing. I took Wednesdays off so I could be their soccer coach. I worked 3 days a week at certain times so I could be home. I can be a room mother. I could chaperone the 2nd grade field trip to the zoo. So any of your students that are looking at decisions on their career, there are so many options. Just make sure you look at what you need in your life right now, and then it can change. So when my kids got to middle school and they didn't want their mom dressing up as the Cat in the Hat and making green eggs and ham, I hired scopists and proofreaders, and I wrote every day to help pay for the family vacation or the broken dishwasher. So this job can morph as your life changes. And there are just so many options. This career is truly the greatest profession on earth.
Yes, it is. And let's just say flexibility. You just spoke on a wide variety of things, and all I can just think about just the flexibility. So yes, 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 yes. Now, switching gears to serving and giving back to the profession. I love speaking with colleagues that that share the same passion for the profession, and you definitely have it. You are now Madam President of NCRA. Woohoo! How do you feel? It's been 2 weeks. I'm still on a convention high, right? And it'll probably last for the next 12 months because that's just how it is. Can you tell us when and why did you decide to serve on a national level? And yeah, let's get into that. How did you decide that?
Well, once again, a lot of these things pursue me. I would never have dreamed of serving on a national level. Frankly, I wouldn't have dreamed of serving on a state level. I had a friend call and say, would you come to serve on our state board? And I was so excited just to be asked. And I thought to myself, if I serve, maybe I could earn a plaque to hang on my wall and my kids would think I did something cool. So I did everything that I've done for a plaque. It's been almost 2 decades now, and I still don't have my plaque. But I will say that I blame Melanie Humphrey-Sontag and Doug Friend. They asked me to run from the floor 9 years ago, and they had seen me serve on my state level and felt that I would bring value to the national level. And so they asked me. And I will tell you that I did not prevail in that first election from the floor, but the next year, the NomCom slated me. And I would never have considered myself material for service. I think in this profession, we are so isolated that we really have no level of comparison for our skills or knowledge. I was a little fish in a little pond, and I thought I was comparable. I thought I was a good reporter, but I thought everyone was. So this has nothing to do with self-esteem, with low self-esteem. I just thought everybody was great. Admittedly, I had a few people that were my heroes. I thought they were superstars and completely out of my league. But later in my career, when I had opportunities to work with them, I realized that I had serious misconceptions about my skills. So I really don't think that this is a negative. I never thought I was something special because I believe everyone is special. And I'm right. Everyone is special, and we all have so much to give. I had just discounted my value, and I would suspect that there are a lot of court reporters out there that have done the same. When I got out in the big pond, I realized that I did have something to give. And so let that be a lesson to everyone. You are special, and there is no better way to prove that to yourself than to serve others and share your special spark and help their lights shine. Remember, together we shine brighter.
Yes, and I am a firm believer of serving others, planting seeds, and that's just how I was raised, right? It's just something about serving and just helping others. I'm a firm believer on that. Now, you mentioned something, and I guess this would be a message of don't give up. But you said that I want to say your first year, you ran from the floor and you didn't win, but you didn't give up. You kept going and going and going, right? And
That's
look
right.
at you. Yeah, you're now, president of NCRA. And you were also, what was it? I think when I first came across who Debbie Dibble was, you were the treasurer, right? The treasurer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then is it so you start as board and then you just continue to go? So is it board vice president or board treasurer vice president? Is that how it is?
So you spend 3 years as a director.
Mm-hmm.
And at any point during that, if you elect to move up, you can be nominated to move up to an officer before the end of your 3 years. But as the director terms are 3 years. The secretary treasurer isn't, well, it's the next. You don't have to do them in order, but I did do them in order. I spent 3 years as the secretary treasurer, then the vice president, then the president-elect, and I just became the president 2 weeks ago.
Yes, so exciting. So, do you have any advice for those that may want to serve and don't know where to start? Oftentimes, I hear, colleagues, they'll mention, I want to serve, but I don't have the time. What would you recommend? I know for me, I'll always say, okay, if you haven't done anything, maybe start off small, start off as a brand ambassador or, getting involved with the students. So do you have any advice for anyone who may want to serve, but they don't know where to start?
I absolutely do. And I think that I just said it a little in my last answer. Just get started. That perhaps could be the mantra for everything in life. Just get started. Find a place where you have interest and begin. Find a committee, find somebody that needs your help, find a student that needs a mentor, find a place where you have an interest and get started. I'll tell you the biggest lesson I've learned about serving is that you can never get ahead. No matter how much you give, you get more in return. And it's not a bad way to spend your life trying to get ahead. I have learned and grown so much through my service that it is unquantifiable. Those that I have met through my service have taught me more than I realized I didn't know. They changed my world, the way I work, my productivity, my organization. They have made me a better reporter and a better leader. I would dare say that 90% of the work I do is for firms or clients that I met through my service. A friend says they're working for X company today, and I say, who? They say, oh, you don't know them? Let me introduce you. Networking through service. So even if you are fresh out of school, I bet you can find a way to serve. Serving a student maybe that's a little further behind you, helping them come along, helping them, maybe you're 5 years out and you had some experiences that you didn't expect that you can share with them. No matter where you're at in your life, you can bless the lives of others through your service. So find something, however small it might be, and give back. It will come back to you tenfold.
Yes, indeed. Now, for a little Vegas recap, like I said earlier, I am still on a convention high. It was overwhelming. It was empowering. It was just, Vegas was just so perfect. Like, I don't have one negative. I always like to have my positives override my negatives. And I don't have anything negative to say about Vegas because I had such a great time. Okay, well, I'll take that back. The only negative that I would say that I had is I didn't get to have fun because I was busy. I was busy working, and that's what I love to do at conventions, right? Yes. So I'm moving from this place to that place. I'm at PAC booth because I'm on the PAC committee. I did a little, podcasting with my own booth and, trying to get a photo together. So just all over the place, but it felt so good just making sure others were taken care of. So
I had the same problem. I like to spend time with students. They are the funnest, most energetic group ever. And because of all of my responsibilities becoming president, I didn't get to spend that time. So that's my only regret as well. The convention was freaking epic.
Right.
It was a huge success, particularly in light of the pandemic. 800 plus attendees.
Oh my goodness. Wait. Are you serious? 800?
Yes, but get this, 120 students. That is the most students we have ever had. Everywhere I looked, there was a student with like ribbons flowing off their little name badge. They were everywhere, and they were so engaged in what was going on around them, the light on their faces, their smiles. They were so engaged in the student track and on the dance floor. Did you go to the gala?
Yes. So let me tell you about that. So for the students, I organize an annual steno lunch buddy lunch for the students that, attend alone and don't have anyone to lunch with. Now, I started in New Orleans and Vegas, New Orleans and then Denver. And then we did the virtual lunch buddy. And this year, again, in serving on the student committee for several years, we've never had, this many students. So it was no way that we could all go to lunch together. So we had reporters volunteer to take a student to lunch with them. And it was just so amazing. I'm just so happy for the reporters that volunteered to be a part of this. That was a really good look. Not only that, as far as the gala, students, now how they have it, a plan is in place for now. If the reporters are not going to attend the gala, leave your tickets at registration so the students can go. And when I tell you again, I just want to thank the reporters that did that, because what took place at the gala, we'll get into that, and your fabulous dress, students, just the smiles on their face to be in that room. And what I did prior, I did put out a message and I said, bring a just in case outfit. That just in case outfit was so, if they only brought, running shoes and jeans, they could come to the convention and feel as special as everybody else and look decent. And when I tell you, they looked so beautiful and on that dance floor. Your dress, the gala was just amazing. Debbie, let's get into that dress. So your dress. So I know myself and a few others, we love to get dressed up, but your dress, I want to say your dress and Marguerite's jumpsuit, you got the gold, Debbie, the dress. How did you pull it off?
I loved that dress. I've been dieting for like 5 years. That dress was it was a lot of fun. It was really sparkly and shiny and really exemplified our theme of we shine brighter together. And thank you for your kind words. It was a fun dress.
You're welcome. So
but I gotta say, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Well, I wanted to add that, I came off the stage from receiving some really, really fun, exciting things from my state representatives. And as I walked across the dance floor back to my thing, they started that music and it just was like, I started dancing on my way across the floor. And the second I moved to the music, people flooded that floor. It was 3 notes of music and the floor was full, and it was full all night long till 11:30 at night. I've never seen that. I've never seen that kind of participation. And I think a lot of it was our students.
Right. It was. And I know myself and a few other people, we stayed all the way to the end. I love the gala. It reminds me of what we did during that whole weekend. And I love to just sit back and go into a corner and just watch everyone just have a great time. And I am just so proud of Vegas. I believe
we needed Vegas, and we needed that party. The week was full of educational, important content for our business and our professions. And then we just needed to have some fun together, and we did.
Exactly. So we can go ahead and say that was one of your special highlights. What about the premiere session? And can you tell our listeners who our keynote speaker was? Can you get into that?
Absolutely. The premiere session was amazing for me. It was a dream come true. You don't really think that you're going to be the president someday, but I guess in fantasy land, you thought if that ever happened, I had always thought I would love to have my dear friend Debbie Fields be our keynote speaker and share with us her career path and how she overcame so many obstacles to just become and be the amazing woman that she is. And so to have her share her incredible business knowledge with us was a dream come true. And she shared her secret to success. The answer is always yes. And she shared her experience and how she grew through, being a woman in a man's world, and how she took her passion of baking cookies and turned it into an international success. So that was huge for me. And I had so many members come up and tell me that it was really inspiring for them, that they took notes. They were going to go back and share with their staff and increase their business acumen in their own professions, in their businesses. So that was a huge success. Alan Peacock receiving the DSA brought me to tears. The awards luncheon, I don't know if you saw some of the social media of the people that placed on those on the speed and the real-time competition.
Let me just tell you this. First, shout out to Alan Peacock, because he is a absolute. I love Alan and I love Elliot and their little dog Chewy, right? He's just so adorable.
Well, I love Elliot. I didn't know about the dog.
Yeah, so he has this really cute puppy Chewy. So we're shouting out Chewy on the podcast. But the awards luncheon, Debbie, this is one of my favorite moments at the convention, because now you get to see the contest, the awards. And I always go in, and this is what I tell students: if you can, break away from your friends and go sit at a table alone so you can network with reporters. And that's one of the ways I was able to build my network, going to the luncheon and sitting alone and, just at a table where I don't know anyone. And that used to be extremely hard by me being really shy and reserved, and to do something like that on my own. And what I said this last year, okay, I'm going to sit close, to the stage so I can see all of, the excitement. Let's just say Michael Hensley, Melanie, Amy, just Allie, Debbie. I'm just thinking back to that moment and watching the names just being called and watching them celebrate and rejoice. Doug, get into it, Debbie. What are your thoughts about it?
Well, I think you've already covered it for me. There were so many people that were there that competed and placed for the first time, and the excitement and thrill and shock and surprise when they qualified, when they were in the top 10 in the medals. The sheer joy on their faces was so much fun. That was probably one of the best awards luncheons I've ever been to, because the excitement of the contestants and those that placed was off the freaking charts. And the Angels, did you see the Angels table? The NCRF Angels were I'm so sorry. They're angels, and they haven't stopped since convention. We are having people contribute to NCRF and become NCRF Angels. I'm so sorry.
Bless you.
All over the place. It's really remarkable.
And you know what? And I'll just say this. I'm so happy that as far as the foundation, the word is being spread, because oftentimes you'll have people, reporters, new professionals. Well, what is our foundation? So I think if we keep, speaking, like for instance, Richard Jamelson, he's doing a fabulous job with making an announcement of the Angels, because this is now bringing more awareness. This convention we had, I don't know the numbers, but I just know, and I'm just going off from what I, was seeing. Was this a record number of just having like a flock of people sign up to become an angel?
It was unprecedented. I've never seen this. And I've been on the board for a long time. I believe that there were 20 new angels that registered at convention. And I've seen almost one or two a day since we've gotten home. So it's just continuing to grow. And yeah, Rich Jermoson's doing a fantastic job of highlighting those new angels so that everyone can see and understand and have knowledge about. Our NCRF programs, there are philanthropic initiatives, and the Angels help them to do so much. I think we're going to talk about one that's really special to me in a minute. But let me tell you quickly that they brought in a woman from the Library of Congress to discuss the Veterans History Project. And she was impressive. Those of you that got to go to that session and listen and learn from her, she was remarkable. And it's those donations from our Angels that make those kinds of things possible, as well as PAC. PAC did a great job. They do the baskets. I'm always stunned at how generous our members are. And they supplied some amazing prizes to generate funds for our political action committee and for NCRF. And, you know, when we end that whole drawing of all those prizes with the stenograph that is donated by Stenographer, it's hold your breath awesome.
Yes, I definitely agree. So what I did do is I donated a podcast episode as one of the gifts for PAC, as I am, I'm on my, it's 2 terms. I'm on my second 2 terms. So I'll be stepping down after 2022. Next year, that'll be my complete end of term. And while we're on the subject of PAC, I just want to bring something up that you mentioned. So I don't know if you remember me at boot camp, but boot camp was amazing. And I am going to do a future episode on boot camp because I want to bring awareness to it. But I just want to shout you out because you inspired me to do boot camp. I don't think I'll never not do boot camp. I remember you standing up there and you said, I want to say you did maybe 7. I could be wrong, but at first going in, I'm like, why would she do so many? But then after it was over and just being on Capitol Hill, it was life-changing for me, being able to interact and talk about steno and bring awareness. And we have a lot of, I want to say, a young generation that's on Capitol Hill, and just getting them to just understand our profession. Like I'm going to continue to advocate and do it. But you said that you did it for so many times. And boot camp, it is very intense, but at the end of it, it's rewarding.
Well, I'll tell you why I've done it so many times. I'm sorry, were you not finished?
Yes.
I'll tell you why I've done it so many times. And I do remember probably 6 or 7 years ago, I spoke at the beginning of our boot camp and I sang, "Oh, I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill," because Schoolhouse Rock was my entire government relations education. That's all I had. This is not a forte of mine. I know very little about government relations, and it's very uncomfortable for me to get up and speak in these kinds of situations, believe it or not. And so I have to go over and over and over again because it's so hard for me. I've told people, maybe to Dave Wenholt's unhappiness, that I hate boot camp. But there is nothing that has changed my life for the better more than boot camp. I hate it because it's hard for me. I love it because it has changed my life. Within a couple of weeks of my becoming the president of the Utah Court Reporters Association, I had to go up in front of the legislative body and fight for our court reporter jobs. And without boot camp, I would never have been able to do that. So that's why I say it is the most important program that NCRA provides for that very reason. It's tough, but we have to take it because we have to have a voice in our legislation.
Right. I am so excited for 22 because I will definitely participate.
Good.
The more education, the better. And I'll just shout out the winner of the PAC's, one of the gifts, raffles that were given away was an episode of Confessions of a Stenographer. So Gabrielle Vasquez from New York, she will be on an episode. So we'll be going through what she wants to talk about, but she will be on this podcast.
That is a
So,
fantastic, that's really awesome. I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go into a short commercial break and we'll be right back.
Christopher Day again. Just wanted to take the time to share a little more about my blog at stenonymous.com. Not only do I have factual reporting, but I also dive into matters of opinion or conclusions to be drawn from the facts. For example, maybe you saw online that an automatic speech recognition company raised millions of dollars and was set to disrupt the court reporting industry. One of my posts dives right in on that. If they had a product like that, we know it would be bought out because industry giants have spent billions of dollars on far less impressive computer programs. That's just one of the ways we know they're not even close to what court reporters can do. If you like critical thinking and want to get a fresh perspective on topics like this, just make sure to check out stenonymous.com. Have a great suggestion for my resource page? Write me at chris@stenonymous.com. Together, we can build the industry and platform amazing content just like the podcast you're listening to now.
Welcome back, Steno lovers, and now more with Debbie Dibble. Debbie, now that you are the new president of NCRA, what can the members expect with our new strategic plan?
The strategic plan is nothing short of brilliant. Not to toot our executive director, Dave Wendhold's pride too much, but he did a phenomenal job. With the NCRA Board of Directors' help and many volunteers amongst our members, 6 teams of industry stakeholders came together and discussed the mission of NCRA and the vision for NCRA's future. They dug deep, boiled it down, and created goals for the next 3 years. And then they added timelines and deliverables to get it done. So this is my 3rd NCRA strategic plan that I've been involved with, and it is bar none the best ever. As I set up the committees this year, we pulled in the objectives created by the strategic plan. So they are going to get running right out of the chute to get a start on making our future glorious. It's a fantastic plan, and we're really grateful that we've got these goals and objectives to work towards to really improve NCRA and do the best for our members and solidify our profession into the future.
Yes. Okay, that sounds exciting. Now, membership. How important is membership, and do you have any words of encouragement for NCRA non-members? What I can tell you is I love when someone tells me that they're not a member of NCRA. And what I'll do is I'll tell them all the reasons why they should be a member of their state and national association and what their support means. And it's nothing like getting a text or an email saying, okay, I went ahead and joined. So for you, can you just touch on, why is membership is important, and any words of encouragement for our non-members and why should they consider rejoining or joining?
That is an exceptional question, and I appreciate you asking it, Ms. Day. There is simply not enough time on this broadcast to address how important your membership is. I've often said at state conventions that your voice is always louder when it's part of a group. Our numbers give us weight. When there's an issue that affects stenographic court reporters, captioners, or videographers, NCRA is there to support those members, and we need that weight of numbers to give us a seat at the table with our legislators and decision makers. This job can be very isolating, particularly during a pandemic. So come out of your homes, be a part of something bigger, and join your state or your national association or both. I know we're all busy, and many people don't have the time to volunteer and to spend their time on our behalf. You said it yourself, Shawnice, that earlier you were very busy and you weren't able to. But as your life changed and you had more time, you have been a significant contributor to our profession for many years. But there are often those that don't have time right now. And if you do nothing else, joining your state and national association will give them the funds and the numbers to make a difference for you and for all of us. In addition to that, I think I said in my acceptance speech at the premier session in Vegas that NCRA has a lot of programs, and we need staff to make these projects run every day. You have now 11 members of the board of directors that they pour their lifeblood every day. Pretty much, we have some sort of conversation about what we can do to bless the lives of our NCRA membership. Our board, our staff make things happen, but it takes your dues dollars to implement these programs. We need staff to have our certification program run, to keep track of our membership. So your dues dollars is what makes NCRA operate, and NCRA operating is what gives us a voice at the table of our legislators. Our industry has not just come easily. We have had to fight for keeping our profession where it is today, and we continue to have that fight. So being a member makes a difference in your world, and we really appreciate your dues dollars and your membership numbers to help us make that happen for those that do have the time to go up on the Hill and lobby and make a change in our world.
I definitely agree. And I'll just make one more statement. This is for my non-members, non-believers, but I want you to keep in mind that we are recognized through our national association, and that is why it is so important to support, right? Okay. Moving on to something that is just so new, and I know you are going to get into this. The Career Launcher. We have a new and exciting program called the Career Launcher through NCRA. Can you please share with our listener why this program was created?
I can, and I'm going to try and keep it under 6 months. This is an amazing program and so very dear to my heart. This idea had been floating around the board table for a long time, and we had an industry, we had a think tank about 3 years ago. And I mentioned this idea and said, well, there was this idea that always came up. That might be something that we could really invest in. And I was sitting next to the NCRF director, and she said, that would be perfect for our Karin Clark Professionalism Institute. Let's talk about that. So we talked about it. The NCRF trustees were on board. We did a whole outline of what it was going to look like, and then we got to work. But it has taken us 2 years. I put together a very small, very smart group of people so that we could work really hard and make a really fine project. My team was Marilee Johnson, Kevin Hunt, and Mike Miller. And we started working 2 years ago. And then we were ready to record the modules. I'll explain what the modules are here in just a second, but I'll do it right now. So what this program is we sat down together and said, what should we put into a program to educate students coming out of school before they go on their first job? And we thought it would be important, but when we got going on this and we realized the hole in our profession that we have students graduating from school with speed, and that's it. They've never seen a transcript. And so we realized that this is an incredible need for our students. So we sat down and thought of all the things we could expose students to and how we could pack it in to 10 mock depots. And we started from walking in the door to navigating the receptionist. We have all different scenarios. Sometimes you have lots of information. Sometimes you have none. Sometimes they put you in a corner. Sometimes they make you wait. We go into the room. We talk about the table and how to find the best spot for you, how to position the people, the participants, so that you get the best record. We take a deposition. We mark exhibits. We have people talk over each other. We have people mumble. We just packed everything we could. And then at the end, we do what we call life lessons. And we say, what did we learn from this module? And we walk through all of the lessons that we taught them so that they understand what they were and what the options are for them to do about these things. So we were ready to record right as the pandemic exploded in Seattle. And that's where we were recording. And these people, we thought about waiting and not going until the pandemic resolved, which if we hadn't have gone, we still wouldn't have started. This project would have died. So we went to Seattle, the epicenter of the pandemic. We recorded them. We've spent another year after that getting the platform built, creating a resource manual that has sample cover pages and appearance pages and certificate pages, and show you how you put in a blurb to swear the witness and where you put in a blurb to mark exhibits for them to keep. That's something they're going to be able to, well, in the olden days, take off put on their shelf and have as a resource for life. It's also a mentorship program where they will create these transcripts from our mock depositions, and they will be reviewed by a seasoned reporter who will send back to them their feedback on, this is a fantastic transcript, move on to module 2. Or, hey, you misspelled the witness's name, you might want to get that right. So a fantastic program. It's done, it's launched. I actually got notification yesterday that we had our first student submit the first transcript to be sent to a reviewer for feedback. I'm so excited about it. And thank you for asking about it. We're hoping that all of our students will use this resource, and our new professionals. There are new professionals that maybe have just gotten out in the market, and this can hopefully also give you experience that you might not have for years. You might not have your first interpreted depo for 3 or 4 years, but we have a module that shows you how to swear in the interpreter, how the interpreter then swears the witness, and how to create your transcript on an interpreted depo. We've got a workers' comp deposition, we have a car accident, we have a divorce, all the way up to highly complex patent litigation. So there's lots to be learned by lots of people, and opportunities for seasoned reporters to give back to the profession and help give this experience to our new professionals, get them out into the market faster and better prepared. So we're pretty excited about it.
I just love it. And I'm so excited for this new program. And this is going to also help with bringing in quality reporters, right? The quality,
Absolutely.
you guys are setting up a great program so we can continue to build quality reporters. And as I said in my last episode, quality matters, right?
Yes.
So Debbie, for new professionals that are tuning in right now, what words of advice can you offer?
There's never been a better time to be a reporter. You are almost guaranteed 100% employment as soon as you finish your training. And with remote depots still the norm, you can make a great living without ever leaving your house if you so choose. And once you're out and working, just like Shanice just said, quality matters. Never stop improving your writing. Never stop learning your software, and always be working on your next certification.
Yes. So for the students that may feel discouraged, because we get a lot of that, and some that are feeling, okay, I'm stuck, this isn't for me, what advice can you offer to those students?
There is not a working reporter out there who didn't doubt themselves at one point in school. Court reporting school is one of the most difficult things most people will ever do. If a speed test knocks you down, get up, brush yourself off, practice some more, and come at it again. Stay focused, stay on the machine, and you will get through it. If you aren't progressing as fast as you want, practice more. Guess what? Genius is overrated. Grit is the way you succeed. Never give up. I progressed through school sickeningly fast, and I used to think it was because I was just that good. But now, looking back on it, I realized it wasn't necessarily that I was just that good. It was because I practiced all day long. I did steno in my head. I was dating my husband at the time, and he once asked me if I was having a stroke during a movie because my fingers were constantly twitchy. I said, no stroke. I just write everything I hear. I write every word anyone says. So if I'm watching a movie, I'm writing the movie. I write when someone says the prayer. I write speakers. I write songs. I even write my own thoughts. And I think that's what got me through. When you start learning steno, you hear it, you think it, you write it. You hear it, you think it, you write it. The only way to get faster is to get rid of the think about it step. So once you flip that switch, once it becomes natural, you hear a word and you write it, you're going to fly. But it's getting to that point of flipping that switch. When I hear the word ambulance, I don't sit to myself, how do I write that? Ambulance. I write blance. That is the English word to me. The word is blance. I don't think about it. I write it. So the way to get out of school is to practice until you get there, even if your date thinks you're having a stroke. And don't compare yourself. You can't gauge your progress against anyone else. Everyone gets to that mind switch at their own speed. You may get stuck at 120 and they fly by to 160. And then that's where their brain gets stuck. And they sit at 180 until they flip that switch. And once you get past your brain switch, you fly. You may work days. They may have children that need their attention. Worry about yourself and what it will take for you to do better. Compete against yourself every day, every test until you succeed. Getting students into and out of school with all the tools and training we can possibly give them is imperative. If we don't do this, all of the sacrifices, efforts, blood, sweat, and tears we have poured into this profession is for naught if we don't provide the talent to supply our beloved profession into the future.
Great advice, Debbie. I just love that. I think that is just great advice. If you can describe our profession in one word, what would it be?
The word would be indescribable.
Mm-hmm.
It's the toughest job you'll ever have. Like I said, I've been doing it for 32 years and I still love every single day on the job. Some days more than others, sure. Not every day is golden, but there is something deeply fulfilling about getting paid well to do a job you're truly great at. That is every day for me. This job is indescribable.
Yes, I love it. Okay. Any closing remarks that you would like to say to the profession as our new Madam President? What can we expect during your term?
Well, first of all, again, thank you, Shawnice, for this fabulous opportunity to spend time visiting with you. It has been a true joy and pleasure for me. I would say that I am a working in the trenches freelance reporter. I hit the keys every day. I've done official work, I caption, I know the issues that are facing our membership. You will see me doing my utmost to support our members in their professional lives and doing everything I can to help get students into and out of school as fast as possible. I've been approached by NCRF. We're hoping to do some more career launcher modules. I want to call it the Career Launcher University, and you can pick your major and do it for some of the other elements of our career, for captioning, for officialship, for just any other way that we can help get our students qualified, prepared, and into the market faster, because we need them. And that will be my focus, is on promoting our profession in every way I can as a working reporter. And again, thank you so much for having me on your show. I am really honored.
Oh my goodness, Debbie, you are so welcome. And I'm just so excited with the whole career launcher. I was just listening in your closing, and I think creating, expanding it would be a great thing. So you're definitely on to something, and I think it is going to be a great added value for the profession. I want to thank you for doing this episode again. Congratulations on becoming our new NCRA president for 2021 through 2022. I wish you nothing but the best. I'm here. I'll be serving on, I think I'm on 3 committees this year.
I think you are. Yep. We can't live without you, Shawnee's, undoubtedly.
Right. So I look forward to working with you, and I want you to have a great day. And again, I thank you for doing this episode. And again, have a great day, Debbie. I thank you.
And to you and all our members, thank you for all you do. We will shine brighter together, and we're going to have a fantastic year.
Yes, we will. Goodbye. I would like to thank everyone that is supporting this podcast. This podcast was designed just for you. Without you, this would not be possible. I created this podcast to add value to our steno community and to reach out to colleagues who aren't on social media and not always in the know of things. Thank you. Remember, steno lovers, you are the highly skilled stenographer. You are unstoppable. You are strong. You are fearless, and you have power. If you have any questions on anything, please feel free to reach out to me. If I don't have the answers, I will find them or put you in touch with someone who can better assist. We are all in this together, and remember, we are one team with one goal, and that's steno. Good night.